Hi everyone, welcome back to our channel. Okay. Apaka apakasaya naman ano. Ayan, pinapasaya ko lang kayo. I know that it's been a while since I've uploaded again. Char lang. Kaka-upload ko lang kanina. But natulog muna ako because I know that maybe you are ano ba? Medyo nakita ko kasi sa video yung mata ko kagano na. So, I guess I need to sleep and then klase this Saturday and then let's have another recording. Now, the reason why I'm recording so that I won't have any problems with you na, what we will do is we will just meet and focus with our lives. Char. Okay, so pwede na tayo, we will just meet and we will just conduct some clarifications, especially you are making your the syllabus, the last part of our lesson is syllabus, which will be part of your project na ginagawa nyo. Even though we are in on our academic break, I guess we need to finish this because syllabus is one of the things that you are doing as as a requirement in my subject. So last night we have discussed syllabus and we have known lots of things about syllabus. Sabi ko nga sa inyo, ang dami palang mga bagay na pwedeng gawin sa syllabus. And at first it's really hard to make a syllabus kasi when I was in college, hindi naman siya tinuturo eh. O siguro parang hinapyawan lang. But making a syllabus is actually more of a, it depends on what you want. It depends on what your company or the school wants. Ayun. So we always need to look for different formats and kaya medyo mahirap. But the basic thing about syllabus is that the importance of syllabus to us. So ano yung mga syllabus natin? So it has um syllabus, the different roles of syllabus. Okay. So and the reason why we should have a syllabus because it is gives us a moral support to the teacher and learner, and that it makes the language learning tasks appear manageable. It's also cosmetic. It has something to do with cosmetic role kasi doon natin makikita yung ganda ng isang program. Like for example, I remember while we were deciding for our doctorate degree programs, one of my classmates said that um ano ba yung sinabi ng kaklase ko na they were looking for the subjects that will be offered in this class. And they, aside from the school, kasi ako sa school lang eh, sabi ko mag-enroll na ako. But sa mga kaklase ko, they're looking for the subjects. And they love the subjects in Bulso. That's why they enroll there. So, isa yun sa mga tinitignan nila. And is I mean that is the subjects. Now that is the curriculum, but in the inner side you will see how the subjects will be executed. I know na some of you medyo na marami siguro sa inyo na hirap na doon sa project natin. Pinagawan ko kayo ng syllabus tapos pati mga sample activities and everything. Alam nyo, it's really hard to do that. And ay tatapatin ko na kayo. Yung some schools, I remember there's a school na gagawin na yung ganyan, as in pati activities and everything are already prepared within a week. Kaya siyang tapusin ng isang tao within a week lahat. Lahat ipe-prepare niya na. Bakit? Para ang kagandahan kasi nun kapag nakaganon ka, tansyado mo yung oras mo. Like for example, alam mo na ito, it's like planning the entire semester. It's really hard because I asked you to plan the entire year, 'di ba? Parang yun yung nangyari eh. Tapos sabi ko, eh madami naman kasi kayo. So you are helping each other, you are planning each other, planning the different tasks that you will do. So yun, para nakikita niyo kung ano yung magiging outcome and yung magiging project niyo dun sa course, mavi-visualize niyo, hindi yung dun pa lang. I tried not making a syllabus and I tried making a syllabus for an entire course. Mas madali kapag kapag planchado mo na lahat. Kapag at the beginning of the school, the semester, before you begin the semester, you'll be doing the syllabus versus and you will also orient the students. Tingnan niyo sa atin, hindi ko kayo binigla sa mga activities. In the very beginning, you know what will be our how you will be taught. the different subjects that you will take, and you might be excited, 'di ba? Yun yung kagandahan ng syllabus. It's because you're given a sample kung ano yung mangyayari natin. Okay? Yung mangyayari dun sa isang klase. And that is also the same with with ESP. In ESP kasi more on ang kausap natin is companies eh. And the companies would like to know why are we what subjects should we take, what are the different topics that we could, so that we could add, maybe parang gano'n. Isa yun sa mga tinitignan natin. Salabat kayo diyan? Okay. Naging salabat cover na ako in ano, by by needs. Okay. So yun. So for this unit 5, we shall be discussing the syllabus design. Maraming design ng syllabus kasi we have lots of Um, we have lots of things eh. Marami siyang uri. So, marami siyang design rather. So, let's now begin with the syllabus design for our next module. So, I guess kahapon, um, meron akong dalawang words pa na hindi nasasabi sa ating bonus question. Okay. Wait lang. Nahanap ko nga yung ano ko. Nililista ko na kasi yun para kako pare-pareho tayo ng words. Ayun nga. So, I still have two more. Okay, two more tayo. Two more. Okay, so let's begin. Let's now have the first syllabus for today is the grammatical syllabus. By the way, for our ESP, nakafocus tayo for English ha. Baka kasi magtaka kayo, ma'am, bakit puro may mga iba pang syllabus May mga iba pang syllabus pero bakit tayo we are focused in English since this is our course, English for specific purposes. So now we'll have the grammatical syllabus. Now, syllabus design involves a selection, sequencing, and justification of the content of the curriculum. As you work in an ESP program, it will be to a point where you will have to choose which type of syllabus you will use. Hence, this unit will include our module to be aware of the different syllabus. Now, let us now begin with this one. Okay, so one of the things that was asked is what is the role of the classroom teacher in syllabus design? The big answer is malaki. The big role of it's on the teacher. It's either the teacher will follow the syllabus that the school intends to or the company intends to, or sila yung gagawa ng syllabus. But aside from that, the classroom teacher will be the one who will do everything. Okay. Kung provided man ng syllabus, okay fine, pero sila yung gagawa, sila yung makikita ng bata na maggagawa nun, sila yung mag-i-interpret, sila yung gagamit ng mga activities. So definitely, teacher has a very, very big role when it comes to syllabus design. Now, what is a grammatical syllabus? Now, in tradition, designing a language syllabus is often has a point of departure where selecting and sequencing the list of grammatical items and then integrating this with list of vocabulary items comes first. Now, phonological items have sometimes been included for good measure. And during the 1960s, all syllables were crafted in grammatical terms. In recent times, grammatical syllabus are still very popular as it was in the 1960s. All the syllabus are guided by an assumption that language consists of a finite set of rules that can be combined in various ways of the meaning. I guess, my dear students, when it comes to grammatical syllabus, of course, during that time, nakafocus talaga tayo sa grammar. Ah, lagi sinasabi, and I was actually kasi sabi niya, dapat yung mga gantong bagay tinuturo na 'to, eh. Parang when it comes to the set of grammar, set of rules, kung makikita niyo rin, my dear students, sa mga libro before, the way they place, mas malaki ang ano sa grammar. And all teachers, I mean, seasoned teachers rather, they will choose a highly grammatical um books in English kasi do'n tayo form. Sila nga yung talagang tinuturuan tayo, tinututukan tayo sa English and also our grammar. But nowadays, it's different because we are more into communication. As long as we're using it correctly, as long as the students would express themselves, that's fine. okay na sa kanila yon. But before, hindi. That's why the grammatical syllabus is, of course, part before. Yan yung mga syllabus before na. Set of rules, set of grammars, ganun kasi ang syllabus before. The language learner is left with a task to have a mastery of each rule in order given by the syllabus before moving on the next. This offers an idea that grammatical syllabus whole purpose was to control the student's input only Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Okay. Only one item is given at a time. It resonated with a dilemma that became more pressing with the advent of communicative language teaching. How could one control input while one is providing learners with exposure to the kinds of language they would encounter outside the classroom? So during this time, I guess, kasi mga bata I'm not sure if nabutan niyo pa yung mga gano'n kasi depende siguro sa teacher niyo. Pero more on ang mga teacher before talaga is you really need to memorize the rules of grammar. I remember my teacher when I was in high school, medyo seasoned teacher na siya during that time. Talagang everything should be memorized, as in pati period. We were not It was not explained to us why we need those. Ano yung meaning ng words na yun? Like for example, sa set of grammatical rules, kailangan kabisado mo siya pagbalik mo na, pag-uwi mo, tapos kabisado mo na siya. As in pati period, pati comma dun sa ano. But when I was now teaching, dun ko naintindihan yung mga nagiging meaning nun. It's more on nowadays kasi we are not into the grammatical rules. Hindi tayo sa memorize, but rather naka-focus tayo sa the real application, which the real application is that nga, yun nga yun. Yun yung naging real application natin. Like for example, why do we use these tenses of the verb? Anong nagiging meaning niya? Yun. So hindi siya masyado na-explain before kasi naka-focus sa memorize. Di ganito to, memorize it, memorize, memorize. Because before, students are not allowed to, hindi naman sa not allowed, but it's very disrespectful to ask the teachers before. I'm not saying now, but before kasi ganun. Ngayon kasi gusto natin yung bata will ask questions so that we know if they understand. Now, the dilemma can be given in two ways. One, abandon any attempt at structural grading and utilize the list of graded structures not to identify the language to which learners are exposed, but to identify the items that will be pedagogic focus in class. Ibig sabihin daw nito, learners are exposed to naturalistic samples of text that are only roughly graded, providing a richer context. Still, they're only expected formally to master those items which should be isolated, graded, and set out in the syllabus of, ayun yun, sabi ni Nuna. Now, the grammatical syllabus is very restricted. Kasi and before din naman yung pag-aaral before is very restricted. It focus on what the syllabus wants, what the body wants. I mean body when it comes to the minsan DepEd or the government or the company wants, very restricted sila. And it doesn't have ngayon kasi we are exploring people. Before kunwari yung text, "Eto pag-aralan mo 'to." Now, you may or may not use it. Wala silang pakialam dun. Okay, so basta yan yung sinabi kasi yan yung maganda, yan yung tama. But, in the practical usage, hindi siya masyado. Ngayon kasi, yung syllabus ngayon, yung mga lessons natin ngayon must be used practically kasi it was found out that the students should have some connections eh. Dati hindi naman siya gano'n. Now, steps to design a grammatical syllabus. So, ito yon. Teacher chooses the structure that the students have to learn according to the level and the goals of it proposed in this course. Then, the teacher chooses a set of vocabulary to be learned together with the form and structure. Ayan, very ano talaga, vocabulary and form. After that, the teacher decides the main words according to the topic to be learned. For example, simple past tense, adverbs of time, and the use of the auxiliary did. Then the teacher designs exercises to put into practice the structure's vocabulary and sentence pattern. So as you can see, it has something to do with the grammar. Grammar talaga siya. It has different siya ngayon kasi ngayon more on communicative tayo, communicative competence ang inaano natin eh. Hindi lang siya grammar. Second na lang ang grammar. Pero number one sa atin is how we communicate. In this sense, learners learn from the simpler to more complex structures. They may understand the system more efficiently, however, they worry about grammar in communicative activities because they feel afraid to make mistakes. Ito yung nagiging problem natin na ngayon medyo hindi na. Dati kasi, they are afraid to make mistakes because corrections are done. Like for example, oh, mali yan. Tapos tatawa yung mga klase. Before ganun eh. Kasi natutuwa sila pag may nagkakamali. Kaya yung mga bata, they are afraid to stand up in front. Kasi nakafocus tayo sa grammar. Like for example, uh, I remember my teacher, for example, may I may parang ano yun yung may I excuse, ayun sabi, I remember that. May mag-e-excuse sa'min sa klase. Tapos takatok yung isang bata, then he will say, "Good morning, ma'am. May I excuse si kunwari, may I excuse Mara?" Tapos sasabihin ng teacher namin sa ano 'yan before sa private school, eh. "Excuse me? Bakit ikaw ba mag-e-excuse? The correct words is, 'Good morning, ma'am. May you excuse.' Kasi ako mag-e-excuse, klase ko siya, siya yung palalabasin ko." So, that's correct. Tama si ma'am. But rather, that's, to some students, na mahihiya na para siyang napahiya. To some, okay lang. But, the way you correct the students, parang nakakahiya kasi number one, hindi niya klase yun. Pangalawa, nautusan lang siya ng teacher or teacher usually kasi bawal naman mag-excuse yun. Utusan lang siya ng teacher tapos napahiya pa siya sa klase ng iba. So, to some people medyo it's really hard. And kaya may mga iba they don't like to o kaya for example, nagkamali lang sa grammar tapos iko-correct tapos basta yung parang it's really hard. The correction is parang ang taray-taray ng teachers. Because during that time gano'n. Kaya nga yung respect during that time is mataas in a way na may halong takot. And so was the syllabus din. It is very restricted but it doesn't mean that it didn't work. Kaya lang nakafocus talaga siya sa grammar which is the trend during that time. Okay, so okay lang 'yun, okay? Creative grammar okay. If you plan for an ESL course, when is the right time to use the grammatical syllabus? To which students? I will answer this one. For me, if I will plan an ESL course, I won't be using grammatical syllabus, not unless that is the students is they want to become a writer or gagawa ka ng syllabus for basta yung more on writing. But when it comes to for example, flight attendant, hindi naman nila kailangan yung masyadong ano eh. Yes, they need to have a grammar, but what they need to do is to communicate eh. So it depends. I like the grammar, but I wanna focus on the grammar. Kasi yung grammar, pwede mo na siya ngayon pwede mo na siyang aralin online, 'di ba? Marami ng grammar test, grammar activity, and everything. Okay? Yung tricycle sa amin nagpapatugtog. Buti di niyo naririnig. Okay, let us now have the lesson 16, notional, functional syllabus. Ay, bakit ka nag-aano dito? So, I have here a visitor. Mhm. My mommy, my preggy dog. Okay, say hi to them. Ayan, she's preggy. At baka pag napanood nyo na tong video na 'to, nanganak na siya. Preggy mommy, preggy. Okay, so let us now have the notional functional syllabus. So, function. Okay, so aalalahanin yung word na function. And by the way, our third word for today is academic break. Yay! Mwah! So that is your third word for your free for your bonus is the academic. Wait lang. Sumabit yung paas headset ko. Okay. Academic break. Okay? So ayan yung third word nyo. Since grammatical syllabus encountered criticisms kasi nga, ah, nagkaroon ng, naka-focus siya, very restrictive, parang gano'n. And of course, my dear students, kapag kunwari naka-focus ka sa grammar, yun na kasi yung natutunan ng mga estudyante sa kanilang klase. And then you will offer that the same courses sa ESP. Parang maano nila, "Ah, ito na naman," parang gano'n. Tapos hindi nga siya magwo-work kasi it needs practice, a lot of practice. So now, ito ang naging result. It's the notional functional syllabus. This is real life, more focused attack on ELT had come the game changer of the field. Game changer siya. So let us now discuss the notional functional syllabus. Bakit siya naging game changer? The notional function syllabus is in the 1970s because the view of language as communication emerged as syllabus designers took a broader study of it. Wilkins, 1976, cited for syllabus says based on syllabi dapat siya, wala namang syllabuses. Based on the notions and functions, it must be clear to know the difference between the two terms. Okay, so differentiate natin yung function. According to Finocchiaro and Broomfield, the term function refers to the speaker's communicative purpose. These functions can be directive, personal, interpersonal, referential, or imaginative, and they can either be described through standard formulae in the language or communicative expressions. Thus, the function is to be described dependently solely on the speaker. So, yung function, ayan. Wait lang, i-discuss muna natin yung iba. And the notion naman states that specific notions can be defined as the words following the functional expression. Notions are thus meaning elements to which may be expressed through nouns, pronouns, verbs, prepositions, conjunctions, adjectives, or verb. Thus, notion will depend mainly on the three factors: the functions, the elements, and the situation, and the topic discussed. Now, um, if we will describe the two, the function is if I will describe it based on what I do understand in the description of Finocchiaro and Brumfit. Sana tama yung pronunciation kasi Finocchiaro, ganun, I don't know. And it has something to do with um what the lessons will do. Parang yung kung ano yung magiging teka, how what would be the ayun nga, function kasi 'no, you are using you enrolled in an ESP course, tapos ano yung magiging function niya sa isang student. Parang it has something to do with that. And that's why yung we are looking for the function of or the reason or um uh the reason for it may it be personal, ano ba yung magiging hindi reason I forgot the term that we shall be using for this one. What will be the how you will use the things that you will learn in a class, maybe for personal usage, interpersonal, referential, or imaginative. So ano ito, um this could be described for you to communicate. Had something to with that. And that's why naging magkaano sila because this yun yung function. Yung notion naman is how you could use it. Parang paano mo siya gagamitin. So alam mo na yung need ng isang client, alam mo na yung gagawin, but how will you use it? Parang paano mo siya ipapakita, paano mo siya isusulat. It has something to do with that. It has something to do with the expressions. Kaya nga, dito yung mga nouns, pronouns, verb, prepositions, conjunction, adjectives, or adverbs. Okay, so it has, now it has the factors. Now, there are different steps to design a notional functional syllabus. Number one is the teacher creates a list of communication functions of the language the students will learn. Like, for example, expressing agreement, disagreement, meeting people, apologizing, or pwede rin naman na, um, for example, sa mga flight attendant, um, they needed to communicate in boarding an airline, yung mga ganon. The teacher writes a list of semantic notions or meanings based on the culture and context of the speakers of the language. So what are the likes and dislikes? Formal and formal greetings yon. The teacher applies the functions and the notions to learning tasks such as introducing yourself, expressing likes, and providing personal information and describing the members. So sa first, ito lang siya, madali lang siya. Sa Notional, yung function is what the teacher ano yung kailangan ng mga bata. Ayun nga, yung babalik tayo dito sa meaning ng function. Ano yung kailangan nilang matutunan? So, for example, we're creating a functional syllabus. Ano yung kailangan matutunan ng bata? Okay, sige. Doon tayo sa, because I was about to teach sa MIFATS, dun sa flight attendant school na pagtuturuan ko. Ano ba yung kailangan matutunan ng bata? Ng isang flight attendant. So, um, communication skills kasi yung parang module namin. So what are the different things that we need to know? How to assist a client, how to express themselves, how to pass a job interview. Yung, kailangan nila yun eh. They will be using it with their job. They will be using it to communicate with the clients. They will use it to express themselves. So that would be the function. And the notion is I will write the different uh semantic kasi has something to do with feelings eh. Yung i-a-apply natin siya. Like for example, sa ano ba yung um hindi trend eh. Ano ba yung ano sa we call this? Ano ba yung di ko name-mental block ako. Ano ba yung parang semantics, i-a-apply natin yung mga kailangan ng isang 'di ba, for example, expressing yourself. Iba yung pag express ng self mo when it comes to normal people. Ayun, iko-contextualize ayun, iko-contextualize mo siya dun. Like for example, iko-contextualize natin siya sa flight attendant industry since they will use it. And then, the teacher applies the functions and learning tasks. So, magkakaroon tayo ng activities. Like, for example, ano ba yung mga pwede tayo may role-playing, pwede tayong may debate, pwede tayo may mga ganito, ganyan. So, something to do with that. So, ang gagawin natin is we will think of ano ba yung kailangan ng client and then paano natin matugagawa yon. And then the activities. Okay, so a virtual aspect for the notional functional syllabus is that learners can learn how to use the target language to express their ideas, notions, and points of view. This syllabus encourages learner to use the target language. Ano ba yung advantage ng notional function syllabus? One, it is real life. Real to life learning task. That is why dapat yung activities na papagawa mo. For example, reading materials. Okay, for example, ang ipapabasa mo sa kanila ay article. Hindi lang siya basta article, but there's something to do with the field. Like for example, sa amin, sa flight attendant school is, ang papakita mo sa kanila ay articles about flight attendant. Or naman, pwede rin na sa flight attendant school, na something to do with airlines. Okay, so yon pwede doon. Hindi mo sila papakita ng short story kasi hindi naman yun real life. Okay? It provides the teaching of everyday and real world language used in the different social cultural situations in which highlights the pronunciation, vocabulary, grammar, and culture are selected and evaluated based on their priority in face to face communication and intermeshed meaningfully from the pilot lesson at the beginning level of learning to serve the learner's immediate communicative purpose. It leads us to expound the need of several varied receptive activities before rushing learners into premature performance. So we need to give the students what they need to know before we give them the performance bago tayo nagpagarap. It acknowledges that while the language used in any speech act should be based on the instances or setting in which happens and the grammatically and semantically appropriate, the speaker must above all have a real definite purpose for speaking and something to talk about. If even at primary levels, the act of communication is intrinsically motivating positively because it expresses essential universal communicative functions of language and use the notions that are most appropriate to complete the specific procedures of functions are being represented. So makikita natin, the advantage is with the students. Compared kanina, Okay, yun na lang yung ano natin. So, since kaysa magbasa tayo ng magbasa 'no. Ang ano lang naman nun, yung sa kanina, more on about sa grammar. It has something to do with form. Kaya lang ngayon kasi, since this is an ESP class, what we need the Notion functional syllabus because we want the students to be mas malapit. Mas malapit sila dun sa what they need. Like for example, kailangan nila matuto ng ganito kasi ganito nila kakailanganin. And especially ESP courses is very short lang. Hindi siya kagaya ng ng basic education that it takes years. No, you only have remember this. You need them to be prepared. Like for example, sa communication skills namin, we only have 5 days. Nandun na sa ika-fifth day ang performance nila. 4 days silang nasa iyo and the fifth day is their performance. So dapat pagka fifth day nila kung hindi man sila marunong magsalita in English, nakakapagsalita na sila after that. So you could imagine it's really hard, 'di ba? Unlike napakakonti lang. So that's the reason why we need to give them everything in one blow, as in yung 5 days na yun, sobrang dami mo ng pa-activity na magagawa sa kanila. Nakaplano na siya talaga so that you will not have a problem. And you will really help the students. At mahal po ang bayad sa ESP courses. That's the reason why isang 1 week lang siya pero ang dami mo na dapat matututunan. Ang dami na dapat matututunan ng mga estudyante mo sa'yo. Now, however, the notional function syllabus was not able to escape criticism. Siyempre, alam naman natin yon. Early versions of it ended up not being different from the grammatical syllabus. Kasi konti lang naman yung ano before, konti lang naman yung mga konti lang kasi before yung mga pagkukunan nung 90s, yung mga gano'n. Eh, ngayon kasi madami na. So, I don't think you will not have a problem. Instead of units entitled Simple Past, you find units entitled Talking About the Weekend. When syllabus designers began turning away from grammatical criteria as the point departure in designing their syllabus, selection and grading become much more problematic. Kasi nung pag kasi grammar lang, madali siyang gradean. Tama, mali, tama yung form. Pero when it comes to this one, medyo output based kasi siya. So it's really hard. Okay? Wait lang. Mhm. Now, let us now have the content-based syllabus design. So, nakakatatlong ano na tayo. This is our third one. So, grammatical, syllabus, Notion function, and now we'll have the content-based syllabus. Okay. Not so long ago, a secretary of education in a third world country expressed that a mathematics subject can be taught using dance or stories. While most of the reactions were all laughter and disbelief, this thinking can be valid in some areas. In ELT, you should know that you could teach the language in so many ways, one of which is the use of fields such as science, math, or even history. Before you raise your brows, look into our lesson this time to try considering your reaction. Now, let us now have the content-based syllabus. It is also known as CBI. It has many facets, but it all comes to an exact distinction. Language is not presented directly, but is introduced via other subject content. By the way, the last word that we'll have is curriculum. Okay, the last word that we will be having is curriculum, and I will have another announcement for the sixth module. School subject as math, science, geography, history, anatomy, and the likes. What makes a syllabus unique is how learners acquire language in doing other things. It involves an experiential view of learning, whereas active engagement and communicating the language is most feasible means of achieving it. We learned that syllabus designers' core tasks are selecting, sequencing, and justifying content in previous lesson. The justification is from the content area itself in CBI. For example, the content area in physics is velocity. We will be introduced because it is a core topic in the field. So, ngayon, ang sabi ni Celsa Murisha, they laid out teaching suggestions from a recent book on content-based instruction the following. Meron tayong tinatawag na information management. Sa CBI, learners shift Data into other categories are given types, so must find examples to match this category. So um, sa para siyang more on activities. So, for example, categorically, pag mix and match mo yung dalawa, ayun, activities. Critical thinking, learners go further classifying to assess or analyze data. For example, by identifying the point of view or arguing from a presented sentence, a stance. Hands-on activities, involve manipulating the data using games, experiments, data gathering. So, mag-aano sila ng mga facts, data and references, and analysis and construction. It is separating text into parts. We know what analysis is. And elucidating the rhetorical pattern and examining the text flow, cohesion, applying the knowledge on oral written discourse. Okay. So, when it comes to the CBI method, yun yung mga suggestions niya para magawa ni Celse Mauricia para sa different categories. So it has something to do with marami activity, pero syempre content, more on parang in content-based syllabus, it wears ibig sabihin lang nun na hindi lang marami tayong puwedeng gawin to discuss. Hindi lang siya yung mga ordinary ways, but we could mix and match. Maraming suggestions sila. Steps to design a content-based syllabus. The teacher chooses the topics from the content, which is the subject, such as the biology, ecosystem, cell, human body. Then the teacher lists topics, grammatical forms, and vocabulary and adjust them to the issues. For example, the subject is biology. Ang topic niya is the cell, vocabulary, parts of the cell, and simple, present, and continuous tense. So nakikita natin dito, the teacher organizes the forms and structure and adjusts them into topics. The benefit of content-based syllabus is that students feel satisfied with the purpose of learning the target language, and at the same time, they're acquiring new information. Finally, the syllabus is often used in immersion programs. So nakikita natin pag content-based, kanina, 'di ba, parang marami tayong activities. So ngayon sa content base, for example, we will teach students, pero meron tayong puwedeng, um for example, ito science. Biology kasi yung ginamit nila. So, we were using science to teach English. Aside from that, pwede rin naman siya na math. Sometimes, yung mga problem solving to teach comprehension. Di ba? Minsan ganon. Kasi that's why I don't believe na yung mga magagaling sa math ay hindi magaling sa English. Mataas ang comprehension nila because they could understand problem solving skills. For example, and I think meron mga reading materials na may mga subject kasi I remember before, dun sa isang subject namin, isa kong sa scholastic, meron kaming sa scholastic ano na, may mga iba't iba siyang subject. Nagtuturo sila lahat ng English. Pero iba-iba yung mga ano niya, like for example, science and technology, drama, geography, sports, ilan ba yun? 6 ata. Iba-ibang color, iba't iba silang topic. So, you will read it. Tapos after that, you will be asked a question. Ayun. So, nakakatuwa siya kasi parang, you were asked to do those. Parang mas nakakatuwa siya sa part ng bata. Okay. Kasi tama, maraming natututunan yung bata, hindi lang yung English. Hindi siya boring. Kasi kanina more on applications, 'di ba? Pero dito meron tayong pipiliing subject. Now let us now have the lesson 18, which is the task-based syllabus. Sometimes you wonder why all of your teachers are eager to give you things to submit or to do. Siguro totoo 'yan. Alam ko marami sa inyo ang naiinis na sa akin kasi ang hirap ng mga pinagagawa ko. These are the tasks needed for you to acquire a language or any lessons you are studying. They have a vital role in achieving the success of the class. While it may seem tiresome for most of you, for the perspective of the teachers, these tasks are parameters to ensure that learning will take place and you will acquire whatever is needed to achieve. And the final lesson of Unit 5, you will be introduced to another type of syllabus. Now, let us discuss task-based syllabus. So, task. Kanina, grammar. Sumunod, function. Sumunod, content. Sumunod, ay, mali. content-based. And now we'll have the task-based syllabus. The task-based syllabus, parang sa word itself pa lang, task. Task-based syllabuses or syllabi embody a particular realization of communicative language teaching. Instead of starting the design process with lists of grammatical, functional, notional, and other items, the designer arranges needs analysis, which yields a list of learners' communicative tasks for whom the syllabus is meant to carry out. In syllabus design, a fundamental distinction is drawn between target tasks and pedagogical tasks. The target task has something to do with the learner might conceivably do outside of the classroom. Examples niyan ay taking part in a job interview, completing a credit card application, finding one's way from a hotel to a subway station, and checking into hotel. That is a target task. Kasi yan yung they could do after. Kumbaga parang 'pag nagawa nila, it is successful. The lesson is successful. Pedagogical tasks are unlikely to be conducted outside of the classroom. These are created to let the students communicate using the target language. In a given job, the task shall be performed using only the target language. The following is reasonable typical example of pedagogical tasks. Ito yung mga activity. In pairs, students accomplished an information gap to get instructions on how to get from one's hotel to the nearest subway station. Student A has a map of the town center with the hotel mark. Student B has the same map as the subway as the mark. Knowing the target and pedagogical tasks are the next step is to sequence and integrate the functions with enabling exercises designed to develop the requisite knowledge and skills. One remarkable distinction between an exercise and task is that exercises will have purely language related outcomes, while tasks will have non language related results, as well as related ones. So, as you can see, pinagkaiba ito, makikita natin yung pinagkaiba ng dalawa. Example daw ng exercises. Read the following text from which all prepositions have been omitted and reinstate the list of correct prepositions. Listen to the dialogue presented and answer the following true or false question. Rearrange the question and answers to the formal conversation and practice the dialogue. Now, for examples of a task, um, that is exercise, more on grammar, at nagagawa siya inside of the classroom. Now, example of the task, listen to a weather forecast and choose what to wear. Such a target task might be done in the classroom by having students circle pictures of clothing, accessories such as jackets, shirts, umbrellas, and sunglasses. So, ang exercises kanina, ayan ay something to do with the pen and paper. Okay, pero dito, they have something to do with what to wear. Okay, so nagdala sila ng something. Yun yung task natin. Now, steps to design a task-based syllabus. The teacher makes a list of abilities or tasks that students need to develop. The teacher writes a list of topics, grammatical forms, and vocabulary in sequence 10. Then the teacher organizes the topics and forms and fits them with the task. So, yun. Okay? So I hope that you did understand pinagkaiba. Basta yung exercises would be easy kasi ano lang siya, paper and pencil lang siya. Pero yung task is yung task ano siya parang may kailangan kang maging output. So yun lang. If you have questions, you could ask me. Yun lang. So let's have our next lesson. Wait lang, i-stop ko lang to para madaling mag-upload.